All right, it says we're now live. Let's double check. Still nothing.
Let's see. Oop.
Oh, all right,
Oh,
we're good. Tony, it's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome on this fine Tuesday evening to BatYard's finest. So today, it's been long overdue episode. We got a special one for you here, guys tonight. This is Tony, and joined with me on my right, we got.
I'm Jerry, and then to my right,
Yeah, I'm Josh from Metropolis. It's been a bit, but that's okay.
we're trying to get back on schedule.
Yeah,
2 months of holidays back to back throws
that
everything out of
honestly
whack.
that does kind of throw
Mm,
everybody off. That's what threw me last time. I was like, oh, I think I can do it this week. I'm like, oh wait, I'm traveling that fucking day. Never mind.
Hmm.
And I know Tony, you just went to a Bills game, so that's why your voice is a
yeah,
little
I want to
raspier than
apologize. Yeah,
usual.
my voice. I'm working through it, but if you can't understand what I'm saying, that's why. But so for our main event today, we have Dr. Strangelove, and then before that, we will be discussing an episode of The Simpsons, Homer the Vigilante. But before that, I was wondering if you guys want to get into some BSBS. Uh,
I
if
mean,
anyone
I
has
have
anything,
something, but I didn't
All
know if
right,
anybody else might have it.
it's probably the same thing. All right, go ahead. I have a couple other things too.
Yeah, I've
So
got a few other things, but this is, I mean, obviously, this is the biggest thing because it was
yeah.
a shock to me. So, Netflix is officially in the talks to buy Warner Brothers Discovery for, I think it was like 43 or like 47 billion. And I'm like, okay, so the rumor was true, but I'm like, when was this ever like this? Was this just a closed door discussion, or was this something that was Discovery had planned from the beginning? Because if this merger does go, this not merger, but if this acquisition goes through, Netflix has Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, um, what else? They have all of Cartoon Network's IPs. They've got
All DC Comics
yeah, they've
too.
got
yeah,
DC. Like
that's
they
cool.
have a lot of big powerhouses that they can do stuff with. And it's not that I think Netflix would do
Oh
anything
wow.
bad with them by any stretch of that word, but I think that's letting one company have too much because that's just letting essentially another company do what Disney's been slowly doing with how they own Marvel, Fox, certain parts of Sony, ESPN, Nat Geo, and a
Yeah.
bunch of other things. So I'm like, yeah, this is like, I'm not happy, but I'm very like reserved about how I feel about this happening again.
Yeah, I'm not really happy about it either, but I'm not really angry about it. I feel like I should be more angrier than I let on. Like kind of what you said, it's just kind of becoming another big monopoly like Disney. I
Yeah,
wonder when Netflix is going to open Netflix World, the theme park.
Oh yeah,
When is that coming out?
yeah.
yeah,
That's
because
when
my
they'll
thing,
compete. That's when they'll really compete is when they have the theme park too.
is like, since Disney owns Hulu, they're slowly about to phase out Hulu, and then everything that was on Hulu will just be on Disney Plus. And I got
Yeah,
rid of my Disney Plus because I didn't watch anything on it anymore. I'd like the 2 shows and I think 4 movies I really wanted to see. I watched, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. I don't need it anymore. And now I'm like, okay, well, since Hulu's about to get rid of Disney, is everything Hulu based just gonna switch over to like a Disney account? And kind of vice versa. So if Netflix does get Warner Brothers Discovery, is HBO gonna just be my HBO account gonna just be a new Netflix
that's what
account?
my thought was too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like all these streaming services like are kind of combining into one thing. Um, like you said, Disney on Hulu. Yeah, and it made me think about HBO Max because I like HBO Max as like one of the better streaming services. Like
Yeah. They have a lot more stuff that I'm like, oh, I actively use
Yeah,
HBO at least 4 or 5 times a week.
right.
Maybe even 3 or 4 times a day. And I'm like, oh, they've got It Welcome to Derry, which has been pretty good. I've been watching Tokyo Vice on there. It's a like crime drama show that's been pretty good to keep in my mind. They've got, a bunch of old movies that nobody else has anymore. I think they've got the original Blob on there. So it's like, okay, what's gonna happen? Because I know, it was talked about before, like, oh, all these, subscription services, it's too much, and everybody needs to conglomerate into one. But now that it's starting to conglomerate into monopoly, I'm like, my mindset is switched now. Is like, okay, now streaming services essentially have all the power, and there's no sense of having anything else because now, basically, if you have Disney, you got everything else. And if the Netflix Warner Brother Discovery merger goes through, Netflix will have everything. And the only thing you'll need is Disney, Netflix, and Prime Video, basically.
Yeah. And then they can all charge like $60 a month, and then we're back to what cable originally was
Cable
anyway.
again, yeah. We're
At
kind of
this
already getting like there, pretty much. I mean, we're
Yeah.
close to it. It's definitely cheaper than cable still, but
It's
it's getting
like,
up there.
Yeah.
because I think, who was it? Somebody just went up on like their month to month price again. And I'm like, I think I'm one more price hike away from saying, screw it. I'm just going to go back to cable and just deal
Yeah,
with what I get on cable
Yeah. But
because this is just subscription services and streaming is essentially turned into what cable was before. Like, oh, you got to have the premium basic package if you want to watch the 4 channels you watch every fucking day.
I
And then
agree.
it's like, well, to do that, you also have to pay $300 a month. And I'm like, I'm already paying you so much, and then if I don't want ads, I've got to pay you more. So it's like, what am I paying you for? Is
Yeah.
essentially,
No, yeah, that's crazy to me. It's crazy that ads are just normalized on all these services now. Like
yeah,
it's
like that
insane.
was the whole point. Like, I'm paying you money to not have ads. I'm paying you a premium price to not have ads, and you've substantially just gone up. Because I remember when Netflix was like $5.
yeah. Now I don't even know how much it is anymore. I know it's like over 20 at this point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you and Netflix changed, well, I think we talked about it previously, they changed their whole thing, like, oh, you can't password share anymore,
Yeah,
but it was like, well, people got Netflix for their kids who are away at college, or people who do a lot of traveling for business and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, so you just changed your whole gimmick and selling point to what now? If I want Netflix, I got to pay, what is it, I think $9.99 a month with ads to have my own shit. No, just
Yeah.
yeah.
mind your own fucking business.
That's kind of the whole reason why I got it.
Yeah.
These streaming services so I could avoid ads too. And it's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
just another thing.
it's
The,
like
the,
I'm slowly getting over this whole like subscription based entertainment because it's like for X amount of years, like, oh, this is exactly what I want. I'm watching shows that aren't on cable or like on demand to buy from cable, like old childhood shows, teenage shows. Like, oh, I can watch this on my streaming service. But now it's like, okay, we're slowly pulling stuff that are IPs nobody really watches to make room for other stuff. I'm like, okay, while yes, I understand that, what am I paying you money for if you're not going to let me keep my shows that I like rewatching at least once or twice a year?
yeah.
Yeah,
But that, I know I went on a big ranted tirade about it, but
I
I'm
know. It's
just
just making me more sad thinking
like,
about
it's
Yeah.
very frustrating because
it.
it's like we have almost everything, I think, outside of maybe 2 or 3 of the services, but I'm like, look, I don't really give a fuck. Just stop. Just leave
Yeah.
stuff alone.
Yeah, I agree. The crazy thing about the Warner Brothers Discovery buyout is Paramount is still not backing down. Like even
Oh
after
yeah,
that
I
was
heard they're
announced.
like offering bids too. Yeah, I did hear.
Yeah,
Are they?
they're still like, even though it's like the deal is inked, like I think they can technically break it, and they're like, I don't know the whole thing, but they're calling it like an attempt at a hostile takeover, and they're offering like a ton of money, like more than what Netflix is like had paid for it, and then vowed to release like 30 movies a year. And that's like their thing. It's like we're take it and release all these movies. So it's like I really don't want Paramount to have it. I feel
No,
like
I'd
Paramount
rather
is
have Netflix for sure out of the two.
yeah.
Like,
But
I'm
yeah,
okay with Paramount. They've got like certain Nickelodeon shows I'm gonna go back and rewatch because it's getting ready to be Christmas and stuff, and they're like Christmas themed like movies and things I wanted to see. I don't personally want that because it reminds me of like the whole South Park COVID pandemic special that
oh
happened.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah. It's a mess.
Paramount got part of that, and then there was I don't
HBO
even remember
producing
what
South
all
Park
shady
episodes.
business happened, and then
Yeah,
like they just did that, and then HBO got the rest, and I'm like, that's not right. Something's weird about that. What's happening?
Yeah.
You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
you don't want like two companies like ripping IP in half, and that's kind of
No.
what was happening with South Park.
yeah. So I don't want to keep talking about it because
Yeah,
it's making me mad. But
I agree.
I'm very just displeased
The,
and over what's happening
the,
as far
the,
as these corporate takeovers
the
and
only
mergers.
the only thing I want to add to that, just like staying on the subject, but is that like all these Snyder Bros are like, yeah, now Netflix owns DC, so like the Snyder verse is gonna come back, and it's
No,
like,
it's not.
no, I know, and that's like what people are saying, like, and from what I hear, it sounds like they're just kind of going into fruition what was already like established with James Gunn's,
Whatever.
pre-planned movies, and like everyone's like, oh, the Snyderverse. I'm like, oh my god, fuck you. No
They're
one wants
legitimately
that.
they're insane. Like
Yeah.
I see the Snyder post propaganda posts
Oh yeah.
online, and they'll be like, "Yo, Superman only made $700 million. It wasn't profitable. Snyderverse is coming back." And I'm like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. They're like saying that too because like Zack Snyder had a deal with Netflix, like I don't know, a couple years ago when he was making those terrible
The
movies.
rebel group shit.
Yeah, that you made us watch one and it was fucking terrible. So, but like
Awful,
that, I think that
man.
deal is not happening anymore. I don't think he's even making movies with Netflix anymore. But people
Yeah.
are saying like, oh, Zack Snyder posted a picture of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. That means a movie's coming out. I'm like, what the? No, it doesn't. It's just fucking
I
stupid.
just I just really hate where things are sitting right now. And it makes me want to go back to being a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of sugar cereal.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Like, I think I stated this a little bit like some other episode, but like back in the days of like cable TV watching cartoons, like everyone kind of watched the same shows, so like it was like easier for like these shows to kind of have like a household name. Now, like there's a show for everybody and anything, so it's like, oh, have you seen this? Well, no, it's on this
Yep.
specific fucking platform that you have to pay this much for. It's not like you could like kind of share things as easily as before. You know what I
I,
mean?
Yeah,
I
the ease
definitely
of
agree.
access has just been removed because I remember like, well, the channel lineup was different for everybody because for me, Disney Channel was 25, Cartoon Network was 26, and then Nickelodeon was 27. But it's like, oh, have you watched the new Disney thing? No, I haven't watched it yet. Let me, go see
Yeah,
when
just
it's
switch
going to
the
be on
channel.
TV Guide.
That's all you had to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like, hey, have you watched Stranger Things? I'm only saying Stranger Things
Yeah.
because season 5 is getting ready to come out,
Yeah.
but I don't really like Stranger Things. I tried it.
No.
I
They
gave
just wait
up
too long,
on
and I
that.
gave up.
Yeah,
I
I gave up too.
get
But
exactly.
it's like, oh, Stranger Things, it's on Netflix, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, then you got The Boys on Prime Video,
Yeah.
which you
Right.
get if you're an Amazon Prime member for free. So that's like no harm, no foul. because you can get a 30-day Prime membership like every so often, so it's not a big deal. But then it's like, oh, have you seen the new R.L. Stein TV show? Oh yeah, but it's only on Disney Plus. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Everything is too widespread. Yeah, and there's shit on like I don't have it. It's like Apple TV, and there's like some shit I want to watch on there, but I'm like, fuck, I
yeah,
don't want to pay for another subscription, but I want to watch this.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think I'm at the point now. I'm gonna do like a lot of other people, and I'm just gonna get a Fire Stick and jailbreak it and just have
Yeah.
access to everything.
Right.
I'm
Right.
just I'm
And
just
that's
removing the
definitely the
middleman
smartest way.
entirely.
That's the smartest way to do it. To be honest, it really is.
Yeah, but I know I went on the longest. Does anybody else have some BS? I know
Um,
mine was a
I
big
have
one.
other news, but I don't. Tony, do you have anything?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything.
All right. Well, my thing is, I think this was just announced today that DC and Marvel are doing a crossover with Superman and Spider Man,
Oh
like the
Oh,
yeah.
that's
comic book.
cool.
I don't know what it entails and what the storyline is going to be, but they haven't done this since like the 70s, and I know there's been a
Yeah.
lot more DC Marvel crossovers. I know, like you mentioned, one with Deadpool and Batman, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Like
They
that kind
did. They did Deadpool Batman, which was published by DC, I think, and then they swapped it, and it was Batman Deadpool, and it was published by the other one. But those are also weird. If you have a chance, read them. The
I
one
thought
is
you said
way
they weren't that great.
they're not that good, but in it, it's like 5 mini stories, and it's like different crossovers within them. So it's just
Oh,
like it's like what's it called? I don't know. Uh, I don't know,
Elseworlds or whatever.
something like that. It's
Something crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, like the last time they did this was like I think it was the 70s with Superman and Spider-Man, which I still haven't read. It's just like been one on my list. I
Mhm.
actually wanted to recommend it for this podcast at some point. And I know you could get it like digitally online for free. Um but I don't know what this entails. I kind of hope it's not what you just mentioned with the Deadpool Batman thing. I hope it's an actual con- like flowing story,
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I hope for the best. The art looks really cool, like all this artwork with Spider-Man and Superman, and I mean those are like Spider-Man's like my favorite Marvel hero, and Superman's my favorite DC. So I am curious to see how that kind of goes with their dynamic.
I think that'll be a pretty. I mean, they're not as far as like how they operate as heroes. It's not too unsimilar.
Yeah,
But I think it's like, oh, Spider Man is his whole motif is your local neighborhood Spider Man, and like everybody around the world knows Superman.
right.
So I
And
Mhm.
I
think it
think
might be kind of a blending of worlds. Like, oh, hey, Superman, we really need you like over here in Hell's Kitchen, and Spider Man, we
yeah,
really need you over here in like France. So I imagine it'd be something kind of like that.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I could see them like officially meeting like through the newspapers, like the Daily Bugle and the Daily Planet. I feel like that would be a nice tie-in to the two heroes because they both work in a newspaper, office. So I think that would be pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Um,
all the BS I have.
I'm
I
trying
can't
to
even
think if
think of
there's
anything.
anything else I have. Oh, well, no,
Well,
no,
I don't
I
know.
don't. I thought I had something. I don't.
I don't know if I mentioned this last episode. It's been so long, but I know they're making a Gremlins 3.
That
Um,
yeah, I was gonna ask if you guys had heard about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know what it. I don't. I hope Joe Dante directs. I hope it's just the same director. I don't know if he's directing
Yeah,
or
I
not.
agree.
If it's not him, then I don't really think it's going to be great.
That's what I was gonna say. If it's not him, they can have it. Just
Yeah,
leave it in the
yeah,
studio.
exactly. Oh,
Yeah,
it's going to
because
be
I was.
directed by Chris Columbus, who did he wrote the original Gremlins, and
Okay,
he
that's
he
pretty good.
directed the first Harry Potter's like Harry Potter movie. He did a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
so he actually wrote the first Gremlin.
Oh,
So
so
okay,
there's
I'm kind of open
solid.
to that now. All right, and he did Home Alone. He did a lot of classic movies too.
I
So
mean, I
all
think
right,
it's
that's okay.
weird. Once again, it's happening. We're waiting how many years later? You know,
I
but
agree. I feel like Gremlins 3 is like one of those movies that like should I like it? Like it sounds like there should be like a Gremlins 3. I'm surprised it took them this long, but like it always felt like a movie that should have been made for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Do you like
'cause
Gremlins too?
Jerry, well, I
my
remember I
first
made Jerry watch
introduction
it.
was Gremlins 2, and I was very confused. And then we went back
Yeah.
and watched Gremlins
Yeah.
1, and I was like, okay, everything makes sense now. And I was
Yeah,
like, boy, it's weird seeing them from an adult to a kid
Yeah.
and realizing, learning about the age gap that happened. So I can
yeah,
only imagine, like, oh, at this point now, if they bring the same guy back, I'm like, bring his like kids or like grandson, so like somebody else, like
yeah.
give him a
Yeah.
break.
The Billy Peltzer character. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope he shows up again. I hope they get
like
him
at least
again.
like show him because
Yeah, he needs to
you
be
have
like in
to,
the intro, and then like, yeah, he has to at least have a cameo or some significant role. But yeah, I do agree with that, and like I do like Gremlins 2, but at this, I like the first one a lot
Yeah.
more.
That's
But like,
fair.
I like you definitely have to watch the first one to get the second one. I didn't realize when I recommended Gremlins 2 that Jerry hasn't didn't see the first one, so we kind of went out of order. But I feel like you get more enjoyment out of Gremlins 2 if you see the first one first, and then it's like the second one's just making fun of it itself,
Yeah.
like the
Exactly.
whole franchise. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about Gremlins, Tony?
I love this franchise. I love Gremlins too. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's Gremlins 2 is like batshit. Like
Oh
if you're
yeah.
not
Uh,
familiar with like the first
Oh
ones,
yeah,
there's no frame of reference to be like, why are they doing
yeah.
this?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So I kind of feel bad that that was Jerry's introduction. I didn't know
I mean
that.
it wasn't bad or anything. Like I enjoyed the movie. It was
Yeah.
fun, but I was very like I don't know what the fuck's happening here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I know the name
definitely
Gizmo
one of those movies.
obviously because I've seen like like posters and things of Gremlins, but I just didn't realize like oh that's why everybody makes these kind of references and jokes up in
Yeah,
regard to Gremlins.
yeah, yeah. For the most part, like there's a lot of movies that are just coming out that are just sequels and remakes, and you know
Yeah,
that's
because
kind of what
I
we have to look forward to.
like when I saw that I was like, boy, I kind of hate that it's turned into what's something nobody's thought about in the last 27 odd some
Yeah.
years. You know what? We got Zoolander 2. We
Oh
got
man,
um now
Jesus.
what if we give them Gremlins 3? And I
that's
honestly wouldn't be surprised if we get a Passion of the Christ 2 at this point.
oh man, yeah. Well, that's one I've been waiting for, so I'm kind of excited. It's not like the Ghostbusters 3 where I've been waiting for that movie for a while, and they just like missed the mark because it's like, all right, the Ghostbusters are just too old now. Now it like at least with Gremlins, it's like, oh, you're just watching a movie for the Gremlins. You don't really care about the human characters as much, So it's not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not that kind of feel, at least,
Yeah, it's like
Like,
you're more nostalgic for the mascot and not the
yeah,
character.
right.
Yeah.
Which I mean does make sense because that's really what you know Gremlins for is the mascot.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Mogwai and all that, but yeah. Well, that's all the BS I have.
Yeah.
That's enough of
I think,
Gremlins.
yeah. I don't have anything else. So I think we can go into our first feature, which is uh, The Simpsons, Homer the Vigilante, which I picked for our episode for a very basic, surface level reason. Had nothing to do with our main presentation.
I
But
mean, it
I'm
had a
gonna hand this.
joke. It had a
Yeah, I had
joke
one
about the
joke.
movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna pass this one over to Jerry, I think.
Okay. So I have not seen like early Simpsons in a very long time. So seeing like everything hand drawn was very fun again. Well, I just wanted to
Oh
get
yeah.
that tidbit out of the way. So this episode opens up and there's a gentleman going around and robbing the folks around Springfield. And everybody wakes up and they're like, "My stuff's gone, your stuff's gone, my stuff's gone too." And they're just all kind of pointing the finger, trying to figure it out. And then they all meet up at what is it, Moe's Bar? Yeah,
I think so.
they meet up at Moe's Bar, and then Ned Flanders is like, "We should start a neighborhood watch." And then Homer's like, "Yeah, we should do that. Let's start a vigilante group." And then people are like, "Well," Ned Flanders is like, "Well, I can lead it," and everybody's like, "Boo, boo, Ned Flanders." And then Homer's like, "I can do it," and everybody's like, "Yeah, Homer, go Homer." And then in between all of this, he starts this very drunken, and I really wish I had a thesaurus for every way to describe what that group was. It was the Minutemen, but like it wasn't even great value Minutemen. It was the most subpar group of people trying to protect the town, and it was just awful. They were just causing more destruction than actually figuring out how to stop this dude. And then at every turn, Homer's dad is like, "We old folks can help," and he's like, "Oh, Dad, you old folks you're too old. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Go
Mhm.
back to your retirement home and have your tapioca pudding." And his dad's like, "Oh, okay." And then his dad ends up figuring out, like, "Oh, hey, this giant cubic zirconia that got stolen was in the room of my neighbor at my retirement home. And the only reason I know is because I fell, saw his shoes, and looked in his room. You should probably check him out." And then Homer is like, "I didn't even figure it out who it was. It was my dad." And I'm like, boy, Simpsons really was something back like early seasons. And it's not like it was anything bad. It was all in good fun. But I was like, wow, it's weird just going back that far. Oh, what
Well,
else happened? Some other funny stuff happened. Uh Homer gave a kid a knapsack so he can go steal doorknobs.
Oh yeah.
Thing that happened.
Oh
Homer got
yeah.
drunk and passed out. He gave Lisa like the hillbilly country like shine jug to just blow to make music. And he's like, "It's not the same." And she's like, "I miss my sax." And he's like, "I didn't tell you to stop blowing on the jug." And I was like, boy. And just the whole time after they catch the guy, he's like, "Go to this tree that looks like a T. I hid $1 million in there." And the whole town was like, $1 million. And they just race up there, crashing, driving like absolute panicked maniacs, only to find out they've been hoodwinked. And then the mayor is still like, "Maybe there's more down there. Keep digging." And then at the end, they're like, "Well, I guess there really was nothing. How are we going to get out? Let's dig up to get out." And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because you can
yeah,
get out of a hole by going up
that
with
that
no
part,
stairs or like leverage.
yeah,
Yeah,
that part
that's
was like
smart.
a big reference of it's a mad mad world. Like they go under I think it's a big W in the movie to find like buried treasure or like this like whole thing that's leading up to it. So that's like kind of what that was referencing was that movie. I think it was a big T in this episode. Yeah, and they just keep digging themselves further down. They're
I
like, oh, and they find a note of the cat burglar. He's like, oh, I'm using this time to escape, and then Mayor Quimby obviously like goes, oh, there must be something underneath it, and they just keep going.
Yeah, it was going back and actually watching this. Like it took me to a place of nostalgia because I know a little bit of Simpsons, but I was never one of those people like, "Oh, I gotta watch The Simpsons because it's so funny." Like I did have my laughs and stuff, but I was like, man, I guess I've gotten old because this is not as funny as I remember it used to be.
No, this episode's just not a great episode. Like when I was
yeah.
watching it, I was like, "This is definitely not one of the better Simpsons, at least early Simpsons episode." It was like a very average episode for that
Yeah,
time. So like, I felt. I mean, I've been watching like early Simpsons, and I'm like, there's great episodes, and this one's like a very mid tier
I agree.
episode. It's not that great. It's
There
like
were
okay, it's fine.
there's
There's
a
some
few jokes
jokes,
I liked a lot, but
Yeah.
there's like a handful that landed. The one joke I don't know why I thought it was so funny is when they're interviewing Homer, and they're like roasting him for like the vigilante group being like causing more harm than good. And he asks him something, and Homer goes, "Well, I'm not going to deny that like we're causing
Oh yeah,
violence." And then it just like pauses because he doesn't have a sentence to follow up. He's like, "I'm not
yeah,
going to deny that like
yeah.
we're doing violence."
Yeah, yeah,
Something.
and he just like completely outs himself, but then yeah, Brockman's like, "Oh, okay, I have nothing to say to
Hmm.
this." Yeah, no, yeah, no, Jerry. There's other. This is not like a. If I was gonna pick like an early season, like a Simpsons episode, this like wouldn't be the one I would recommend. To
Yeah.
like it's funny that this is the first Simpsons episode we even talk about, and it's like a very average episode. I mean, it's fine. It's a good episode, but it's not like one of my favorites or anything.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't like itch to rewatch this either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get that.
But the vigilante group goes to buy weapons from. I think he's like an ex-military, like soldier, and he's missing
Yeah,
one
and he
arm.
ends up finding like a bomb, and he's
Yeah.
hiding it. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
and they're like, "Oh, that's why Tony picked this episode." Like, there's that reference to Doctor Strangelove. So, like, I like that tie-in. I thought that was cool.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was
I,
pretty
I
dope.
was like, "Oh, Tony, there you go."
I picked it because of that, but I think it's funny. Like we talked about that, it's a mad, 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 mad world in the end. But in the
Yeah.
beginning was like an intro. The intro was like a homage to the Pink Panther. So it seemed like it was like a lot of homages to like '60s, '50s
Oh
comedy
yeah, I didn't even pick
movies.
Oh
that up.
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Well, in
Yeah,
Doctor Strangelove, the Pink Panther plays that British officer. It's
Right?
the same
Yeah.
actor.
Peter Sellers. He's like three people in
Yeah.
that movie. It's crazy. I think. Right?
I
I don't
think
know.
so.
Is it Peter Sellers?
Yeah, I think he's a few people in Doctor Strangelove. He's the
Oh,
president.
you're right. Okay, that's
He's
what threw me off. I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize he played multiple characters."
yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
but yeah,
That's
this
pretty cool.
I had seen this episode. I didn't really remember it. I remember the fancy new sneakers on the thief guy, and then
Right.
the joke about he
Dang.
was like, Grandpa was like, "Yeah, I noticed something weird about the way he was walking, almost vertical or something." And he
Yeah,
shows him
more
walking up the
vertically
building.
than usual. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Is
he
it?
had the fucking grappling hook. He's like, I'll be
Yeah.
back later. And I
Yeah.
was like, how does nobody just hear, a grappling hook engaging like that? Or
Yeah.
even see that? Because oh God. This is how little I watch The Simpsons. What's the fat dude's name? Like
Barney.
Okay. Oh.
Barney, yeah. He's on the damn roof. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so you're telling me you didn't hear something because it's metal on concrete, so it's gonna make a loud, like, bang and clang. So it's
He's
like
like,
I'm like, so nobody. Homer was just concerned about kids, underage kids drinking some beers, some Duff Man, and he was just getting fucked up on Duff Man again, having a serious drinking problem.
Yeah, like I said, this wouldn't be like one I would like super recommend, but like if you're watching the season, like it's fine,
yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
like other later seasons where it gets awful. Like I feel like it's what is it like after season 8 or 9
Something
is
like
when the
that.
deterioration of the Simpsons like went down. Like it was probably peak around season 3 to I guess 8, was what like
Yeah.
peak seasons of The Simpsons. And like I haven't really watched any new episodes. I tried to watch the new Treehouse of Horror and it was just so
oh,
terrible. I was like, I
that's
can't
what it
watch
was.
it.
This is just a small segue BS thing, but did you guys see they're making a new Simpsons movie?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's what the
yeah,
other thing I had was.
I did
Josh,
see
thank you for reminding me.
that. They
Yeah, and I was like, wow. I mean, I thought the first Simpsons movie was cool, but I'm like, The Simpsons has been going on for too long for me to even care about them making another movie.
I agree, and I even feel like the first one that came out like 2007, like a while ago. Like even when that movie came out, it was too late of a movie to be released of The
Yeah.
Simpsons. Like it was not peak Simpsons anymore. Like
They
it
were
was
making
Yeah,
jokes
go
about
because
it.
I've
downhill.
only ever seen episodes like here or there. Maybe I think in total, no joke, I've seen maybe 8 episodes of The Simpsons.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I said, I don't think it's a bad show. It was just like, it was just never something like my dad watched. My mom was very like American Dad, Family Guy, South Park. She was very anti toilet humor in any capacity.
Yeah. Well, like my brothers would watch The Simpsons a lot, and that's kind of how I grew up with it. And it's like pretty much when I was younger, that's when like where I could watch The Simpsons like on my own fruition, that's when it was like starting to get really bad, you know? So
Yeah.
like I would watch like VHSs of like The Simpsons. So like there's a lot to kind of go through because I don't blame you for not watching it because there's so many seasons and episodes that are just fucking terrible. So like
I
if you're
agree.
just watching, I would just stay till like season 9 and like 1 through 9 and just like stop, you know?
Yeah,
And they're
because
probably
what
on like
season are
season
they even on
32
now?
at
Like
least.
35 or something?
Yeah, they're on
40?
like
Yeah,
they're definitely in the 30s now.
yeah, at least season 20 came out when the first movie came out. I remember
They were
that.
on season 20?
Yeah.
Oh my
They're on
God.
season 37.
That makes no sense to me. Like, I'm not saying a show has to end prematurely, but I
No,
feel like
yeah.
once you start creeping to, okay, we're almost to like season 40, it's time to just let it go.
Yeah, I would say once you get to like double digits, that's when you should probably
Yeah.
end the
I mean,
show.
Yeah, like I think, some shows, depending on how good the writing stays, you could do like a season 12 or 13 at most. But once you definitely hit 20, just go ahead and just stop. Because by
yeah.
that point, you've made every kind of joke you possibly could.
Right.
If you wanted to make any type of, like very helpful and impactful episode, like, oh, this episode dealt with, somebody with addiction, or, any kind of trouble like that. You know what I mean? Like, you've done so much.
No, I agree
What's
with that.
I
left?
agree.
Like imagine if like just for shits and giggles, like they picked us to write the next season of The Simpsons. Like with your little knowledge of The Simpsons and like my basic knowledge of like the early seasons and like Tony here too, like we would try to write a new episode like and then we'd probably be halfway through like, "Oh fuck, this fucking this pretty much same premise happened in season 12 episode 19, so like you can't
Yeah.
fucking do that." So it's like
Yeah.
what do you do? Like probably almost like every story that could be
Oh,
written for this
God.
show has been already done, you know.
Yeah, it's just like, what more do you have left in the creative tank?
Yeah.
Because you run out of excuse me, ideas at some point. Because you
Yeah.
can, like, sure, you can do what South Park's done with their newer seasons and just have every episode be a meme of itself.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, I hate the new seasons of South Park. They just haven't been that good to me. I mean, the only
Yeah.
reason I even watched some of the newer ones is because PC Principal was a completely different character from what we've had for the last, I would say, 5 seasons or so.
Yeah.
But like, I could not imagine still to this day trying to write a Simpsons episode and make it funny. Like, what more do you have? That's like Family Guy and American Dad. I think they suck now because they've
Yeah,
been going on
Yeah.
for too damn
I
long.
I
agree.
think I think like it's kind of emblematic. Like Simpsons lost all their early writers. Like it was written by Conan, and like it was known for having a great writers room. And then once they all leave, it's like, I
Yeah,
mean,
once your
those,
originals leave, it's, obviously you've got big shoes to fill, but it's like you're not the original team, so you're coming with your own ideas and concepts.
Right, and then
yeah,
the characters like vary too much. Like I know,
get
like
changed.
over the
Yeah,
years, like Homer's supposed to be like the lovable idiot, but over the years he got like more satirical and like
it's
more of a
stupid.
shitty person. And it's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not who Homer is. You know, they kind of just ruined the character over
yeah.
time.
and they
He's
got rid of Apu, and I was like, for what?
Yeah,
He was like, I understand it, but I don't agree with it
no, yeah,
because
I agree with what you said. Yeah,
it's like he's just a regular person
right,
who
and he
always offers Homer great advice. That's the one thing I
exactly.
do remember. is Apu always had some great
Yeah, he was
advice to
probably
give.
one of the smarter characters in Springfield. Like, all the other people were dumber than Apu. Apu was like
Yeah.
a self-made like businessman who came over. Like, he was every immigrant. Like he like
Yeah,
represented that, and like he was smarter than half the townspeople in freaking Springfield. So like, I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
And he had like a beautiful family. He had a very nice house.
yeah,
Everybody else was kind of in like, the American classic house.
right,
But he's got, a very lavish lifestyle he lives
yeah,
in. I'm like,
honestly,
damn, Apu, go, do your thing. But it's
honestly,
Yeah.
just like over the years, especially with some of the voice actors who have, left the show, and obviously some have passed on tragically. Like so much has changed. Like if you were to end Simpsons tomorrow, I think a very small amount of people would be actually sad it's gone, but
yeah,
more people would be nostalgically sad. Like, I
yeah.
remember watching this show with my grandfather
Right,
back in
it's
the
just,
fourth
like,
grade.
sad that they're not making it anymore, even though you're
Yeah.
not watching it anymore. That was
Yeah.
Everyone's
what you're sad about. Like,
everyone that's not. Everyone's already mourned it. It's it's
yeah.
Yeah,
gone.
like
Well, like, I don't know anybody who, like, actively watches new Simpsons. Like, I don't know one fucking person who actually watches the show.
Yeah.
I
Like,
didn't know people still watch The Simpsons.
I watch, like,
Yeah.
older seasons, like, there's still, like, great classic seasons and episodes, and I love the Treehouse of Horrors, but, like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
gets to a point where you see like Simpsons characters with cell phones. It feels weird to me. It
Yeah. I
doesn't feel
agree.
right. It's like,
Yeah, it
why?
doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like hard to adapt with the times. Like that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like, the more you keep a classic animated comedy going, the more, where societal norms and jokes change, you're going to have to change to still fit what people would consider funny. Because you can't just make, obviously, the same jokes we used to 15 years ago. That wouldn't fly anymore.
Yeah. That's my issue with The Simpsons. It's like as I said, I like that old writer room. I thought that they were really good at telling jokes and they were always really funny, witty jokes. It just had the best jokes. And now it's like it's not about telling jokes. It's about parodying the newest thing that comes out. And it's just a
Right. That's
completely
all. It's
different.
like they did recently. I don't want to get too much on this, but like fucking Fortnite, the fucking Simpsons Fortnite. That was like a whole episode. They have the characters. Tony's telling me to buy the game. I don't want it. And it looks awful.
It's a fun game, I'm not gonna
It
lie
I'm
looks kind of fun, but I don't know.
I'm not going to get into the Fortnite discussion. I have my own personal feelings that I can say for later, but I
Right.
will say this. I think that this episode of The Simpsons, while it was mediocre, I thought it was still a
Yeah,
fun watch.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably give this maybe a 7 out of 10. It's like, fine.
Yeah, I give this like a 6. I
Yeah,
don't love it, but I don't hate
I
it.
think I'm more towards a 6, but I'm gonna give it a 7 just because it's better than like later shittier seasons. So
I'll give this a 7. I feel like a lot of the jokes didn't really land, but there were a handful of
right.
ones that I laughed
Yeah.
out loud at. So it's like this is
Yeah, I
a
agree
good,
with that.
pretty decent episode. I do like that. Giving them the bag, it's like, oh, you have to fill it with heavy objects to beat people with, but you have to go find them yourself.
Yeah, like that. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I was like, yeah, that's something that would be funny even now if you said like, all right, you can join the mob, but you have to supply like your own bricks to throw at
Yeah,
people. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's where like early Simpsons really shines, is like those kind of jokes for sure.
So yeah, that was The Simpsons. And now for our feature presentation, we have Martin Scorsese's featuring Peter Sellers in many roles, among others, which I'm not familiar with the actors of this era, but one of our co-hosts, I believe, will be a little bit more familiar, possibly, and that's going to be Josh. I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Martin Scorsese. What are you talking about?
Or no, not Scorsese. Who is this?
Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's what I was like. Wait, I thought there was like some
No,
tie-in. I was like, oh,
yeah.
did he produce this?
No, no,
Yeah.
no. That's my fault. I don't know
Uh,
why I had a brain fart there.
all right, yeah, Stanley Kubrick.
That makes a lot more
I
sense.
have like I kind of knew imagery of this movie. I just like never seen it, and I'm glad you recommended it just because it's been on my list for a long time. So, a mentally unstable American general orders a hydrogen bomb attack on the Soviet Union, um, basically to be dropped by one of his battalions who are unaware that the American government is against the dropping of the atomic bomb. They think they're being American heroes by starting a nuclear arms race. Well, I guess the nuclear war. And the politicians and the generals who are pretty much against this crazed general are in a war room trying to figure out how to stop the plane from dropping the bomb on the Soviet Union. The the president is on the phone with the leader of the Soviet Union trying to disclose information about like how to stop the plane, and he's basically like talking to his girlfriend. It sounds like on the phone call. It's just this movie so crazy to me on many levels. It's like I can't believe this was made in 1964. It
Yeah.
feels so ahead of its time. Like this movie could be made now, especially in the black and white still, and it would still be as topical as it is then. Um, the jokes like really hit, and I at the same time I could believe that it's a Kubrick movie, just how beautifully shot it is. But at the same time, it's like this is a Kubrick movie because it's like it's a comedy, and I'm not used to that with Stanley Kubrick at all. And it's just like such a weird kind of dynamic. I gotta say, this is a great movie. Like, I feel like everyone needs to see this. I feel like this needs to be on like people's list of movies, like all American movies that need to be watched, like this and like Casablanca, like level. Like this is definitely on that par. I don't want to keep going, but like, yeah, this movie was all. It was heavy and really funny at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
think it's the one thing that I think stands out to me is I always, yeah, saying it's ahead of its time. It's like, it's funny. Like, it's hard to imagine like parodying the Cold War while being in the Cold War. Because we watched this with 2025 glasses, and it's like
Right.
back then it was like they were in the middle of McCarthyism. They were in the middle of thinking that they were going to be bombed any given day, and it's like now this movie
Yeah.
comes out
That's what I
parodying,
was thinking too.
saying
Yeah.
all of our leaders are inept. Like everyone's inept. The people, some of our scientists are Nazi holdovers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, then that's actually what happened too.
Yeah, but imagine like saying that at the time where it's like it's
Right.
still
And
relevant.
it's
Like now we
fresh.
can say go
So
back and
fresh.
be like, oh yeah, like all of this stuff.
Right.
Like everyone was losing their mind.
Like
But like
even
saying that while the craziness is happening
and then
is
the bomb dropped on like Hiroshima like was only like 20 years prior to that.
Hmm.
yeah.
So like that's pretty fresh on everybody's mind too. Like yeah, there's a lot that
Yeah.
I
It's a lot
digest.
to really unpack out of this because I think something that really caught me off guard was the guy who had the camera in like his matchbox. And I was like, yeah, during the Cold War, like there were so many inconspicuous like items people turned into cameras you would just never think about.
Oh yeah, the spy cameras and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like when Strangelove comes around, this is just like, man, this is and it's like Tony said, watching this with 2025 glasses on, there's things that are still very relatable just
Mhm.
because of things, kind of going on in similar facets. But then also it's like, some of the things that they were really thinking weren't too far fetched as far as like, oh, just because we're in the middle of the peace war and, the space war doesn't mean anything really if you can just drop a bomb on us and just annihilate our progress we've made. And then also, it costs money to do these things. Money, like, yeah, you can keep printing money and stuff, but Like if you need $500 million, you can't just get $500 million overnight. You gotta, have the necessary funds to do that. Especially now, once you hit first world status, like okay, we've got to keep our citizens protected and happy and healthy and fed. And then like, oh, we also want to build a $5 trillion space rocket and launch some monkeys, cats, and dogs into space to see what happens to them. Like there was a very big balance, and then like all it takes is the influence of one person, right or wrong, and it's like, yeah, everything can either go up in smoke or it can be, Sputnik.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was super like kind of interesting. Like they're like the whole. Like, I agree with that. How one person just like destroyed this whole system that's supposed to have all of these bad checks and balances because he went crazy. And yeah, like like there's a tight balance where everything could have went well, and like we're even using computers to like take our decision making out of it. Where it's like, do we really want to send a retaliatory strike? Like if we get nuked, no, but his influence ruined things so royally that like no matter what, like they were like literally powerless to it at that point. It's just in God's hand. They just had to watch it happen and
Oh
watch it
yeah,
yeah,
and they're
destroy
trying to shoot
itself.
down the plane, and like it's so close to getting shot down, but they're
Yeah,
flying at low altitude to avoid the sensors and the scanners. And they're like, "Oh, we think we shot it. I don't know." And but they call it off. Like they you think that like the code is finally sent out. Peter Sellers' character, who plays the Englishman, figures out the code from the general who went crazed, and he's the only one with the code. He kind of like went through his scribblings and ramblings after he shot himself in the bathroom, and then he figures out the code, and then like all these there's like 30 planes with like nuclear bombs get sent back, or like other ones are shot down, and the only one that survives there's one that survives, and it's like low on fuel, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna bomb the closest target that we can. It's like a suicide mission at that point. Like you
yeah,
think they're in the clear, but it's just that one last plane that fucking is still ruins it all, you know.
yeah. And
It's
then in
yeah,
the
crazy.
war room, they're telling the Russian generals like, we know its targets. Put all of your anti air here and here, but that plane is running out of fuel, so it goes somewhere completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
And he's arguing with them like, trust us, trust us, trust us. It's got to go here, here, and it just doesn't. It's just like perfectly, perfectly. Everything went perfectly wrong.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It was literally the
And
worst case scenario, just made fun of in the most practical way, I guess I could say.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because, obviously at that time, everybody's thinking it like, okay, we just dropped two literal, like, life changing bombs on a country. So it's like, if we get mad enough, we can do it again. And then, like, obviously the next thought was, all right, well, since the US has nukes, and if everybody else were to start making nukes and getting their own, we have to deal with nuclear fallout. So it's going to be radiation everywhere. You have to take several thousand people underground where the radiation is not going to kill them or, disrupt their natural biologies and mutate people. So, when you try to go back up to the surface, you won't have to worry about trying to repopulate as bad. But I think because I wish I spoke German because what was Strangelove's original name before he changed it before when he became a
Uh,
citizen?
yeah, I forget, but yeah, it was a different name.
Yeah, like I felt like that, especially during the time of the Cold War, they picked like what would have been a stereotypical name for like a mad
Oh, I'm sure it
scientist
was some
and
joke.
just went with it and was like, all right, you're going to be whatever this stereotypical name is. And we're going to have you play the mad Russian scientist who's like, we've got our own bombs, but you need to trust us. We're not going to use them. And you just have to listen to what I say to make sure your bombs don't go off. And then by proxy, I have to call our people to use our bombs. Like how the president was on the phone with who it was like the drunk minister or somebody. My memory's a little bit sketch because I haven't. I watched it a while ago, but I hadn't done a rewatch. But it was like all these people are just talking, and like pointing fingers and stuff. and it's like, wow, this is exactly how a war room potentially would have went. Like, oh, only the president can call in a nuke. Yeah, that's not 100% true. I went
Yeah.
ahead and just used the codes anyway. Can you turn them off? Huh? What do you mean turn
Yeah.
them off? There's an off button?
I gotta say, my favorite character out of the whole movie was the General Buck, who's like in the war room, who's like just constantly chewing gum because it's like
Yes. That's like
Yeah.
his nervous tick.
yeah, well, and plus like you realize that the gum is part of the like survival kits that they get for
Oh,
nuclear like bomb fallout. So it's like that's like why he's chewing gum so like
that's
relentlessly,
funny.
you know? It's just like part of the
Is it?
survival kit. Yeah, it's just like a funny little detail that like I
Wait,
think
did
so
they
funny.
really do that back in the day?
I don't know. Well, that's what they did in the movie. I'm sure they're like there was gum and other probably.
Well,
I
you
know
know
there was a
what?
big
I
thing with
remember they told them hide under a desk if the bomb
yeah.
goes off, thinking
Yep,
it's gonna
I was about
save
to say
them.
that. Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say that, and they had like a bunch of like fallout rooms and everything. So like it probably was like one of the items that like was common back in the day for like survival kits.
Wow.
Um, but
I
yeah, I
like.
thought it was funny that he just was constantly chewing it and like going through his supply so
Yeah.
quickly, you know. And then he's talking about like, oh, we could kill 5 million people and like we'll save this many people, but 5 million will die, you know. And they're like so nonchalant about like the mass genocide of the nuclear fallout and like that they will eventually have to go underground and they could
Yeah.
potentially survive 100 years underground,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the before the fallout, like you know, so it doesn't like you don't to get radiation poisoning by being on the surface. You have to be
Yeah.
underground for 100 years,
I
and
think
then
that
you could
was
be okay.
that was a really important scene of the movie because it just shows how they're all like, well, okay, it's already done now. Everyone's gonna die. We gotta self preserve, and then they're still thinking about like, oh, does that mean like, oh, we can bring 10 women per person? That means we don't have to be monogamous. And then they're thinking like selfishly and like not like they're not even thinking about like what's going on. They're just like, and then the scientist is talking about eugenics and
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
getting
it's
That
like
was
excited
such
to
an
something.
start.
obvious like parallel. It's like they're not even like hiding it anymore. You're like,
Yeah, he
oh,
literally
okay, this is
stands
what
up and
it's
hails
about.
Hitler.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
Because it's so funny that you were talking about the scientist. Because I think for me, like the one scene that left a strong impression is when he got up out of the wheelchair and he was like, I can walk. And then the movie just goes off, obviously signal it to what was that song playing?
We'll meet
Um,
again or
yeah,
whatever.
we'll meet again.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was. Like, obviously, saying like, yeah, the bombs have dropped, so everybody's gonna die. But like, hey, I was faking being in the wheelchair, guys. Haha.
Yeah,
And I was like,
that's the happy ending. Yeah.
happy endings.
Yeah, I love the disclaimer too in the beginning of the movie is like, "This is not how the
yeah.
US military operates." Like, that doesn't make me feel any it didn't make me feel any better about
Yeah.
this situation. Like, watching this movie, I was like, "Oh, man, like, so much human error is, like, I mean,
Yeah,
possible." You know?
like
I'm like, I don't
obviously
trust
this is
anybody with this kind of power, and
like
it's
this is not
everywhere.
something that I think is too far fetched. Like, yes,
No.
you can say this isn't to this has no symbolisms to any persons alive or dead. But could you really say that with how people have been acting, especially within the last decade about stuff going on? Like, yeah, you can tell, like, then it didn't hold any truths, but now it's like, boy, this hits kind of close to home.
Yeah.
Especially when the pilots and stuff were just kind of talking around nonchalantly. I was like, so does nobody have any sense of urgency? Like, you got a call to drop this bomb, and you're potentially about to do another Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I think it was another place that got affected by the nuclear bomb we dropped on Japan, but I can't think of it. But it's like, this isn't. something to be taken lightly, obviously, because that's anything involving nukes is a declaration of okay, we're pulling out the biggest weapon that we have, and they were just
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, all right, switch channel to this, all right, lock it, scramble this frequency, all flyers switch to these operations and input this code. Like, okay, buddy, yeah, that's fine.
That was James Earl Jones, right? That
Yes,
was
yeah, it was.
Was it?
I
I
know.
was gonna ask
I thought
because
that
I
was
could not. I was like, that looks like him, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, I said at first I saw him like, is that James Earl Jones? And then they just cut to him again. I'm like, oh, that is James Earl Jones. Like I knew like right away, and I was like, that's really cool to see a young James Earl Jones too in this film.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, what a crazy ride. And like at first, like when you're watching the movie, like I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. But like it's obviously like you pick it up like once you're in the war room, you're like, oh okay, like this is what's
Yeah.
happening. I feel like you kind of can pick up the pieces, but once like they get right to the war room, you're like, oh okay, this is what's happening. So like you figure it out right away, which I did like the whole dynamic of that, and like they had the Soviet ambassador who goes in there and they're like trying to keep peace, but he's like taking secret photos of the war room, like showing
Yeah.
like this is what's
Mhm.
happening. Um,
Even while the world is just going to inevitably
right,
explode.
exactly. It is a wild ride of a movie, and
Yeah.
like I said before, it didn't make me feel any better about nuclear arms at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
like that
definitely
made
made
me
me feel
honestly more
worse.
fearful of
Yeah.
like I don't want to say anything out of turn, but putting certain people in positions to make obviously world changing decisions like that. This movie just made me more like, oh boy, this
Yeah.
is this is very scary.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
do.
I'll go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say there was like I it's kind of on the same note, not as that, but the one guy that Josh was talking about that he liked a lot. I forget his name. The general. Uh, One of my favorite scenes was just when when they're like, "Is it possible? Like, is it possible for him to make it through without getting shot down?" And he gets so excited. He's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta see
Oh
it.
yeah.
You gotta
Yeah,
see it sometime." They just fly
Yeah.
so low, they get in there.
Oh, I loved all his scenes and like how like he was like so anti like Soviet and like oh
Yeah.
these commie bastards and all that stuff. Like
the whole
it's like
time, like
it
the
was
American spirit.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then
he's
like
like, "Oh, our boys are so great. They're so perfect. They can do it. They can do it." And then he realizes he doesn't want him to do it. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry."
yeah, and even like the cowboy um pilot, like his dynamic and like that whole crew going on too. Like they all had their own personal identities and like they think they're gonna be war heroes after this. And then like the bomb like is the bomb doors are like jammed up. So like you're like, oh maybe the bomb won't be dropped. And then of course the
Yeah.
cowboy like rides the bomb, which is like the famous shot of the movie, which like I knew that shot, like I knew it just from like the cultural zeitgeist. I mean, like, it was shown in the
Hmm.
Simpsons episode. So like I knew that shot in particular. So like I was like, oh, that's how the movie ends. Cause like once I saw the cowboy guy and I was like, oh, so like I kind of wish I didn't know that because I knew the
Yeah.
bomb was gonna be dropped. But if I didn't know, it is a really awesome twist. Like because like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time in anticipation, like hoping that the bomb doesn't drop, and it gets like significantly like one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. Is like,
Yeah.
oh, will they, won't they, kind of thing, and it like progresses throughout the whole movie, and like time is of the essence, and then you know, and then it finally happens.
Yeah. And I like that you're like rooting for them to fail, but like you know
Right.
The
that
whole
like
time.
Yeah,
they're innocent and they think that they're doing the
exactly,
right thing, and they're like
exactly.
they're like perfect soldiers and they're doing everything they can. So you're kind of rooting for them, but you're rooting against them at the same
Yeah,
time. It's so great.
exactly. Like I felt bad that I was rooting for the Soviets to shoot the plane down, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, I hope they shoot them.
You got one job. Please do it well.
Yeah. Yeah, what a fantastic ride. I mean, like, there's a lot to say about this movie, but like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, we could almost dedicate a whole episode just to dissecting each part of this movie.
yeah, I feel like this deserves like a lot of research, even in like the nuances. I do want to watch like a behind the scenes or like what Kubrick was kind of thinking watching making the
Mm.
film. Tony, how many times have you seen this movie? Like, this was my first viewing. Like, I never
This
seen
is
it
the
before.
second time I watched this. I think I
Yeah,
watched this like early college, like high school type time.
that's cool.
Okay,
Which,
that's dope.
wait, yeah, it scares the hell out of you when you're a child and you're watching this. You're like,
Yeah,
this
Especially
is.
when the general commits suicide. I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was not prepared in any capacity for that. Like, that, you asked me something that really just was, I was taken aghast. Like, oh, suicide in a movie.
Yeah.
In a comedy war movie. That was not what I was thinking.
And then I like that he's his whole thing. He's talking about them putting fluoride in ice cream. That's why he's like going crazy.
Oh yeah, and then I love like when the British soldier finally figures out the code. There's this one other general who's like this general asshole who goes in and he thinks like um that like the one who went crazed is like in the right. He has no idea the context of what's going on, and the British uh, soldiers like, no, I need to contact the president right now, and then he makes him get a coin from the Coca-Cola machine. He's like, oh, you're gonna have to hear about from the Coca-Cola company. You're gonna have to worry about them, and it's just like, it just shows like the capitalistic like viewpoint of just like America in general, and it's definitely like a satirical look at that too. Like, this is
Yeah.
what America's about: Coca-Cola.
Yeah. In the middle of a crisis, we're worried
Right? Exactly.
about.
Oh, we're getting ready to die. Let me have that one last fix of original Coke.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're the real enemies. What?
Yeah, this was a really fun movie. I definitely would probably go back and do a rewatch kind of later on.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, this is, there's a lot that kind of just went over my head. Obviously, first time viewing something like this, and obviously the nature of some of the things said. But I would still give this movie like a really solid 8 because, while yes, it was making fun of, a very serious time of uncertainty, like during the Cold War and things. I think it also holds a place where, like, thinking about it now, a lot of what they're joking about still holds up. And even still, like, for certain things that were kind of said and done in the war room, I'm like, yeah, I can't say that they were wrong for thinking or feeling this way, because when you have to consider national security, obviously you have to make the harder decisions right then and there, and you don't have time for an afterthought.
Mhm.
No. Yeah, I agree. Like, once you're in it, you're in it. There's not
Yeah, you
really any
gotta you
going
gotta
back.
see it all through, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I'd probably give this movie a 9 at least for now. I feel like on other sequential viewings, it'll probably get closer to a 10. Um, yeah, what are your thoughts, Tony? Since this is your second viewing, did you get more out of it this time, or vice
Yeah,
versa?
I think I definitely did. I'd probably give it a 10. I liked it a lot when I watched it the first time. I think the first time it like just made me realize yeah, I'm fearful of like nuclear war, like very fearful about how like it's humans in charge of nuclear war, and like we always put like this thought like the people responsible for this stuff are like qualified and they know what they're doing. This kind of like satirized it and was like these people are actually nuts as well. So it's like
Right.
no, they're all humans and no one's perfect. And it
I
also
mean,
like
you got to be crazy to like want that much power anyway. So
yeah. And then especially with like the way technology is going and like how they had the doomsday device where they literally could not stop it. Like if they
Yeah.
got nuked, they would nuke someone else. It made me think of like over reliance on AI and tech. Made me think of
Oh
that a
boy.
lot.
yeah,
So
Like,
that's
I
some of
didn't
the
want to say
scary
it
thoughts.
because I knew somebody else was, but like when I was watching this, I was like, boy, this is almost a very scary parallel to how much AI is being forcibly integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Thank you for saying that, Tony. I was scared to say it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a crazy movie. I definitely
Yeah.
recommend it. But I feel
I
like
definitely
almost
do
everyone
too.
needs to watch this movie. I feel
Yeah.
like I said, it's up there with like American classics.
I
Yeah.
Like
agree.
it's one of those movies like everybody needs to see.
Yeah, I think it's I was looking because I rented this movie 3 times because I watched it bits and pieces. I don't know why it took me so long this time to watch it, but I was watching it over like a few days and I kept just renting it instead of buying it because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And then one of the times I got frustrated, it's like the whole film print's in the Library of Congress. I did see that because you can rent it from the online Library of Congress, but it was a pain, so I didn't feel like dealing with it.
Oh, that's
But
interesting.
they have like a
That's
print of it
cool.
in the Library of Congress, which I thought was like cool and important. This is like the type of movie that you should show to people to be like, this is like this is like it's political, but it's also like not. It's like a human thing. Like it's important. I think it's important.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put this in the National Film Conservation Museum. I think it's an
Mm.
important film that, encased an important time in human history.
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy this is 1964. It's like
Yeah, like that's what really blew me away. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
that's the middle of the '60s. Like, woo.
yeah, not even like the Beatles just got to America kind of thing. Like they just
It's crazy to think about how those things like happen at the same time. Like the Cold War happens during the Beatles mania. You
Yeah,
know,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And
you
like
think of
when then Kennedy, he was assassinated, what, 62 or 63?
I
oh
think
That
it's
just
62.
happened. Yeah. So that just kind of happened too. Like that's in the zeitgeist.
yeah, living in that time must have been so much more different. Like than seeing all of these cultural things in isolation. Being there and
Mhm.
seeing it all at the same time was probably so
Oh
crazy.
yeah, that's a wild
Yeah,
time.
it had to have been like it was one of those things. Like being there in the moment had to have been absolutely just mesmerizing to experience.
Mm,
Yeah, January 29th, 1964 is when it was released. It says the
that's
UK again.
insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we I think we already did final thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I think we can wrap this one up. This has been Tony with BatYard's
Wait, we
finest.
got to do
Wait,
Jerry's recommendations.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
have been waiting to do this movie. I've been looking up the short to make sure like this is the right thing because like the parallels are like a little bit uncanny. So for the next episode, I'm gonna have the guys watch Tales from the Crypt Keeper, season 3, episode 2. I'm gonna send you guys the episode name and everything to make sure that it's right.
Okay.
And then for the feature film, I'm gonna have everyone watch Rise of the Guardians.
Rise.
Oh, this
Sounds
one.
really familiar.
I think I know what this is. This is with all the
Yeah,
holiday icons, right?
Oh,
I talked about
okay.
it like off and on before. Like,
Yeah.
it's because I think if I remember right, this is a DreamWorks movie. Is it DreamWorks? Are
I
you
think
DreamWorks?
you're right. That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks. And they have like and I know I've asked before, like, oh, who do you guys think has some of the better villains, like Disney or DreamWorks? And their villain in this one is my absolute favorite.
Really?
Like I'm not gonna give away too much, but he leaves a strong impression from the beginning all the way to the end of the movie. Like
Okay.
he is about business and he does not skip a beat on it.
All right. I'm
And
down
I
for
think
that.
it's gonna fit, especially since it'll be after Christmas. It'll like it's a holiday movie, but it's not. If
Yeah.
now that you guys have the information here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
it's
definitely
exciting.
like one that's kind of been on my radar, but like I heard good things, but I just never took the time to watch it.
I like it a lot. I watched it back. Well, this came out my senior year of high school, and it was like, oh, it's seniors are done with the exam, so we're just kind of doing whatever. And so one of my teachers just put it on, and I was like,
That's
there's
funny.
no way you could tell me
Yeah.
that this is an honest to God children's movie.
Yeah.
Like when you guys watch it, a lot of what I'm saying is going to make more sense.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to that. If you don't want to be spoiled for Rise of the Guardians or Tales of the Crypt, was it season 3, episode
It's season 3, episode 2, I believe. But I'm
episode
gonna
2?
send the episode name because I don't want the episode order to be messed up and it's the wrong thing.
Right. Right.
Oh wow.
All right. Yeah. Make sure to watch that before the next episode. All right, Tony. Now you can close out.
So this has been Tony with BatYard's finest.
This is Jerry guiding you all with Green Lantern's light. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tony.
No, I did. I lost my train of thought.
This is Josh sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
And we're becoming super friends, one episode at a time.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody.